how much did Tamiz receive from Medicare?
The net payment was 1750.
What do you mean when you say the net payment? Is there significance to you using the word net?
No, I'm just saying the final amount that I received was 1,750,000.
That's the total amount that
Yes.
was received. And then you then loaned Mr. Matlala 500.
No,
What did you do?
Commissioner. In total, I received 2.5.
Yes, that's what I wanted to understand.
Yes.
Yes.
And on the request of Mr. Matlala on the two payments, I gave 500 and then 250. That's hence Tamiz has a net of 1750.
Okay. So you loaned Mr. Matlala?
No.
the 750.
That money was Mr. Matlala's money. He asked me that I'm paying you. Can you please advance this money to Mr. Maumela on my behalf?
So he used you as a conduit to pay Mr. Maumela? Because if you say it was his money, then it was not a payment to Tamiz, I think is the name of the company. If you say that money from the get-go, when he gave it to you, the 750 at the outset was never meant to be.
No, that was my money. That was my money. He then requested me to say, can you please, from this monies, take 750, give it to Mr. Maumela, and I'll make good for this money on the next payment that comes in.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to clear with you. You either were paid 2.5, and then Tamiz was paid 2.5 million, and then you lent Mr. Matlala the 750 by paying it to Mr. Maumela, but it's a loan to Mr. Matlala because you don't have a loan agreement with Mr. Maumela. It's either that,
Yes.
or let me finish because you've said two different things. Or from the get-go, 750 was never meant to be yours. You were paid the difference between 2.5 and 750. The difference was yours. The other bit you were given to pass on to Mr. Maumela. You have to choose which one it is.
I was given 2.5
Yes.
and told to pay 750 to Mr. Maumela.
Okay.
So I received a payment of 1750.
Okay. So you were being a conduit, really, for Mr. Matlala.
Yeah, he asked me to pay and I paid, yes.
I'm asking the nature of that transaction. It's important for me to understand the nature of that transaction. Either you were paid the company was paid 2.5 million, and then it loaned 750.
Commissioner, I was explaining.
No, let me finish, because it's important that you clarify to me. So let me ask my question, and then you can clarify my difficulty. You get Tamiz gets 2.5 million paid to it. It's either that's a repayment to the company, all of it belongs to this company. And then Mr. Matlala says, you know what, I need to give Mr. Maumela 750, won't you please help me out, right? And then you help him out. So it's now a loan that Tamiz is making to Mr. Matlala. That's one scenario. The other scenario is you knew and understood as you got the 2.5 million that only 1.75 belongs to Tamiz. The balance is Mr. Matlala asking you to be the conduit to get this money to Mr. Maumela. It's one of the two. So I'm asking you to say
the first one.
Which one of the two is it?
It's the first one.
Okay, so you advanced the loan to Mr. Matlala after.
And he was going to, on the next payment,
Yes.
he then said, I'll do good and sort you out, I'll top it up for you. That's
Okay.
exactly what he said.
Okay. So Tamiz would have a record that shows it has loaned Mr. Matlala or Medicare that 750,000. You're nodding?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Just one question from me. Were you ever a shareholder of Medicare 24?
No, Commissioner.
So what entitled you to appoint people to its subcommittees or its board, either Mr. Kerr or who's the other person, Mr. Faik Mohammed?
It's not an official board. It was just a finance board, but it was on the request of Mr. Matlala, not me.
And was it for the purposes of looking after your interests in Medicare 24?
Correct.
But it was informal, it was nothing formal.
We'd have to check if they gave him something. I can check if they gave him some sort of correspondence.
Okay, I'm leaving it there for now.
Can I just clarify something? This Tammy's loan now, this money, the 750 to Mr. Matlala, who asks that it be paid to Mr. Maumela. To whom is the loan made? Is it to Medicare or is it now to Mr. Matlala? By
No, it
Tammy's?
should be Medicare.
So it's a loan to Medicare, the 750. All right, thank you.
Mr. Carrim, I'm a bit confused. I want you to clear my mind. A few questions earlier, when you were engaged by Commissioner Baloyi, you said the 500,000 was Mr. Matlala's money. Do you remember saying that?
Yeah. What I said, Council, is that I received 2.5. 500, Mr. Matlala said, or the money that I was going to pay, he said to me, meaning Mr. Matlala, meaning Medicare's money. If I say Mr. Matlala, it's Medicare's money, because the money came from Medicare. He said to me, pay this monies for me, and on the next payment, I will then reimburse you and I'll top it up for you.
Yes. Okay, let's take it at the level of it being Mr. Medicare's money then. If you say it not necessarily Mr. Matlala's, my confusion is still not cleared. Responding to the very last question by Commissioner Baloyi, you said it was now a loan to Medicare. Which is which?
It's a loan
Because
to them.
if it was Medicare's money, you couldn't loan Medicare its own money. Can you please clarify your statements? Or are you withdrawing your earlier statement that it was Medicare's money? It cannot be both.
The money came from Medicare 24.
That I understand.
Mr. Matlala is the director of Med 24.
That too I understand.
So I'm saying it's his money, or it's his money.
No, once paid to you and is now in your hands. That was the context in which Commissioner Baloyi was asking you. The money has now been paid to you or to this entity, and it's now in this entity's hands. And it's in that context that you earlier said that it was, I will no longer say Mr. Matlala's money, I will say it was now Medicare's money. It was Medicare's money.
Yes, so Medicare, in terms of the loan, still owes me that 750,000.
Now, how could it be, how could it continue being Medicare's money when it was now in Tammy's hands? How could it continue being Medicare's money?
Because Mr. Matlala initially wanted me to pay 750,000 of the whole 1.5 million, which I refused.
That doesn't answer my question.
I'm trying to get to...
Please get to an answer.
So, when he gave me the money, he said to me, this is the money, you give Mr. Maumela 750, and on my next payment, Medicare will then do good and give you back your 750.
That doesn't answer my question, which is, once the money has been paid to Tammy's, so it's in Tammy's hands, how does it continue being Medicare's money? That is my question. And what you've just said does not answer that question.
When we agreed on how much he's going to pay, he said to me, I'm paying you 750 on your payments because I want you to give Mr. Maumela money. So he said, I'm increasing. I said, but it still doesn't make sense, Mr. Matlala, because in terms of our agreement, you need to pay me 10% of invoices that were paid. For example, if they invoice 1 million, he must pay me 100,000.
And if to you it was as good as Medicare's money, how could you have retained the 200 1,000? If Mr. Matlala had said pay 750.
No,
If
I
it was-
refused to do it on the first payment.
Sorry?
I refused to do it on the first payment. He wanted me to actually take half of the first
It's-
payment and pay the full 750. I
According to
refused.
your responses, it's Medicare's money anyway, so why retain the 200,000?
Why would I?
According to you, it was Medicare's money anyway, according to the responses you've given.
The
So how-
750
let me
Yeah.
finish. So how could you retain the 200,000?
I didn't retain 200,000.
You did not pay the 750, you paid 500,000.
Yes,
You
because
paid
I
500.
said to him he needed to pay me
So you
extra.
actually retained 250. Yeah, please respond.
He initially, that first payment needed to be 2 million. He reduced it to 1.5. And he said, pay Morgan 750. I said, no. He then said, okay, what can you give him? I said, I can give 500 from here, and on the next payment, I'll give another 250.
All right, thank you. I'll leave it there.
Would it be fair to say that the only reason, or that the primary reason why you paid 500,000 rands to Mr. Maumela at the instance of Mr. Matlala was that you were scared?
Yes.
And there was one further payment.
Before you move on, Mr. Shahelding, I hear that you say you were scared, but I'm interested to know if you ever asked Mr. Matlala why he had not paid the 750,000 directly to Mr. Maumela. Why did he want this to be done through you or by you?
Yes, Commissioner. I asked him on several occasions that, why don't you just pay him yourself from Medicare 24? He just said, no, he can't do it from Med 24. He has to do it by me. I must help him, please. He can't do it from Med 24. But I said, you have signing powers on Med 24. You just have to process it from Med 24. But he kept on insisting that I do it from my vehicle.
That doesn't make sense to me. Did it make sense to you?
At that time, Council, it didn't make sense. Hence, I'm saying I continued to say to him, I can't do this. He continued to persist and say, please help me.
And moving on to the removals of the two people you referred to, you may have dealt with it. You'll tell me if you've done so already. What exactly were the reasons given for the removal of your two people?
Commissioner, on the first one, he just said to me, no, he needs someone that has more accounting experience. It's just not anybody, admin person. So I said, okay, that's fine, that's justifiable.
But this was more for you and not for him. It was you that wanted to see the flows into and out of the account. It was
Correct.
not for his benefit, so it doesn't make sense to me that he should have insisted on somebody that has accounting knowledge. So can you make me understand? I just don't.
Yeah, I asked him, why must this person be removed? Why do you need someone that's got accounting experience? He then explained to me, no, this person now that's got the accounting experience needs to sit on his Monday meeting, board meetings, where actual invoices are discussed that must go in and follow the trail of payment. So he needed someone that had knowledge, accounting knowledge. That was his reason.
But for your purposes, I mean, you were satisfied to see that money had flown in, money was going out or had gone out. You were satisfied with
I was
that,
satisfied
which
with that,
is-
Council.
Which is why you had set that system up in the first place, not so?
Correct. I was satisfied with that.
So for you, what he said must have been unacceptable if you were happy with what you had set up, correct?
I did raise my concerns. I did say to him, there's no reason to remove this guy.
No, I'm asking you, you were satisfied with what you had set up, correct?
Yes.
So why did you allow him to tell you about the need for someone with accounting knowledge? Why did you agree to that?
He has overall powers on that account, so even if I stage my protest, he can remove that person.
I understand that. That's something else altogether. But about you, why did you agree to that? Because what you had set up was satisfactory for your purposes.
I didn't agree. I didn't agree, but he still removed the person.
But did you reason with him?
Yes.
Along the right lines?
I tried to reason. He had already removed the person and then requested another person.
All right, now he's got, or you've given him someone with accounting knowledge, and why was that one removed?
When I went back to him, he said, Mr. Van Wyck's got issues with this guy. I said, can you give me proper, what are the issues? Because this guy works under Van Wyck, and he's not a problem. He's not a troublesome person. He's a young man. He knows what his job is. He knows what he must do. So somehow or the other, he said to me, Mr. Van Wyck didn't like Mr. Mohammed. Didn't take a liking for Mr. Mohammed.
Were you told what problems Mr. Van Wyck had with him?
Yeah, he said Fike is always late for meetings, but when I talk to Fike, he's always on time. He was at the meetings regularly. He was on time. He was at the meetings regularly.
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Carrim, so this loan is advanced in June. In fact, the first payment, according to your statement, is on the 26th of June. You need to speak up for
Yes,
that.
yes, Commissioner.
Yes. So the first person that you appointed to be a co-signatory to the account, that you nominated to the account, they would have been appointed when and removed when? You said for about a month.
July.
So they were removed in July.
No, he was appointed end of June, beginning of July. And we'll just have to check, but
Yes.
there is records, definitely.
Okay. And immediately after they were removed, another one was appointed. Mr. Mohammed was
Yes.
appointed. And
Yeah,
you
Mr.
say
Mohammed was appointed at Medicare 24, at the offices.
on the board.
Yes.
So he's not a signatory. He's not a signatory to the account.
We need to check what access he had. I'm sure we can find out what access he had and to what extent was his access, yes.
Yes. My interest really is you've put in 10 million rand into this business or this transaction. Well, it's into the business. What they do with it is to service. That's what you say. Mr. Matlala said to you he needed it to service the tender, but it is into the business, Medicare. You've put in 10 million. You expect a return of 10 million rand, so a total of 20 million rand. How is it that you accept that the people that you have nominated so that they are your eyes, you say they are there to see as money comes in, so that they're your eyes. When they are removed, you leave it be. That's the end of the matter. How do you explain that?
No, it wasn't end of the matter, Councillor. I insisted that I need explanations as to why these people are removed, first of all. And I said to him, it's unacceptable. I said to him, we had an agreement. And when he removed Mr. Fike, I mean, there was not an altercation, but we exchanged some harsh words. He did not even remunerate Mr. Mohammed for the services that he produced. He didn't pay him. And I said to him, but it's not fair. We had an agreement. And then I kept on insisting that I need to put Mr. Mohammed back onto this board. He said to me, no, when he restructures the board, Mike is, as the CEO, Mike will now step aside and Mr. Mohammed can come back.
Did he come back, Mr. Mohammed?
We tried on many occasions. Mr. Mohammed has messages between himself and people that were sitting on the board, kept on asking them, when can I come? Send me the link. Can you send me the link for the meetings? Nothing transpired out of
Yes,
it.
so at some point, Mr. Mohammed stops being on this board, and that's really what I would like to get to. At which point does he stop being on this board, and you do not, after that, you have no representative on this board where
It
you've
was,
put in a
around,
huge
Dec-
investment
December, end of December,
of 2024.
yes.
Okay, so beyond December 2024, you no longer have a representative on this board?
No.
Okay. Now, if Mr. Mohammed was on the board up to December 2024, why would you need to ask Mr. Mkhotsi about payments coming in? Because you've got somebody there you've got a representative on the board who knows about what's happening in the company. Why would you need Mr. Mkhotsi to tell you whether payments are being made or not?
Commissioner, Mr. Mohammed has access to the med system. He knows
He's got access to?
to the Medicare system. When I was asking Brown about payments, Brown Mkhotsi, that was from when Mr. Matlala said payments are in. That was from the SEP system. Mr. Mohammed didn't have access to the SEP system. He only had access to Medicare system.
I understand that. I'm asking you a different question. You would have known or should have known through your person in Medicare that payments, remember what you say in your statement, is Mr. Mkhotsi is not paying, Mr. Matlala is not paying you, you're getting nervous, it's now December and you're not receiving any payment. You then ask Mr. Mkhotsi whether Mr. Matlala is getting work, that's the first thing you say, and then two, whether he's receiving payments. You ask Mr. Mkhotsi that, who's not in SAPS, so he will go to his contact. But you have a person inside. It doesn't make sense to me that you would have a person inside and you don't say to that person, are payments coming in? Is this company getting work?
Yes, I had that information. We knew there was, but we were not getting paid. The only person that could check if we're not getting paid was Mr. Mkhotsi.
No, your statement says you asked Mr. Mkhotsi to find out whether Mr. Matlala is receiving work and whether he's getting payments. That's what you say in your statement.
Yes, Commissioner, I did do that.
It's exactly that I'm querying with you, that why would you ask Mr. Mkhotsi for that kind of information when you have a person inside the company?
I had a person in the company, but his access was limited to invoicing only. That's all he could see. He could see an invoice, and when the invoice would go in, that's all.
But he's a board member. I think you've told us that he's a board member.
He's not a board member as such. He sat on the finance board,
Yes.
a finance board.
So you're saying he wouldn't, did you ask him, maybe let's take it one step at a time. You either asked him and he did not give you satisfactory answer, and you can explain why he doesn't give you satisfactory answers, that's why you go to Mr. Mkhotsi, or you never asked him, and in your statement you just speak about Mr. Mkhotsi. You say, I got anxious and I asked Mr. Mkhotsi to check is work coming in, which I would be surprised if your man didn't know that work is coming in. Two, is he getting paid? I'm surprised that your man doesn't know that.
His main function was only invoices. He sat on the finance board. They would have a bi-weekly meeting where he'd just deal with invoices going in. So he would never know when payments will come, where's the payment stuck. At that time, payments were stuck. Hence, Mr. Mkhotsi checked for us where the payments are.
But he would know that work is coming in.
Well, he'd see invoices.
Okay. All right. The second question that I have about this payment, the Tamiz payment.
One issue about this arrangement that I just don't understand, which is Mr. Maumela owes you money. Sorry, Mr. Matlala owes you money. He says he also owes Mr. Maumela money. He needs money to get to Mr. Maumela. Why couldn't he just pay the money to Mr. Maumela himself? Why did he ask you to receive 1.5 million and pay 500,000 to Mr. Maumela? Did he ever explain that to you?
I kept on asking him and I kept on insisting, and I refused on several occasions. And then Mr. Maumela started calling me because Mr. Matlala gave him a commitment that I'll pay him. So now both of these guys were calling me, putting pressure on me to pay this monies. And I said, look, I said to Mr. Maumela, you need to talk to Mr. Matlala about this. I can't talk to you about it because the money is coming from Ed. You need to talk to him. But they both kept on putting me under pressure to pay this money.
No, I can understand that Mr. Matlala says to you, look, I've got lots of people to pay. I owe you 1.5 million. I'm only going to pay you 750, or I'm only going to pay you 1 million, and I'm going to pay the rest to Mr. Maumela, who I also owe. I can understand that. But on what basis did he say to you, I'm going to pay you the 1.5 million, but you must then pay 500,000 to Mr. Maumela? How did he explain it?
He said to me that he's loaning Mr. Maumela this money. Mr. Maumela needs the money. It's quite urgent. He needs the money for an urgent matter. He then mentioned mother, sister.
Sorry,
heard a
Mr.
whole-
Carrim, I think we're talking past each other. I've understood the issue that Mr. Maumela needs the money. But if Mr. Maumela needs the money, why did it have to pass through the Tamiz accounts? Why wouldn't Mr. Matlala pay it direct? And why didn't you, and did you ever ask him, if you want to pay Mr. Maumela, pay Mr. Maumela?
I've said that to the commissioners. I told him several times, you need to pay Mr. Maumela yourself. He just kept on insisting that I must do it.
And why? Did he ever offer you an explanation?
No explanation. He was just adamant, just adamant.
You see, what worries me here, and I do need to put this to you, is that at the end of the day, unless something dramatic happens with witnesses who are still to come, the position of the evidence leaders, at the very least, will be that the payments coming out of the SAPS contract were proceeds of crime. I don't know if you are aware of this, but SAPS cancelled that contract on grounds of fraud and corruption. And we've already seen some evidence of corruption, and our investigators have seen others. Now, if the payments coming out of the contract are proceeds of crime, there are issues of money laundering that arise. And I want to put to you a series of factors that you need to consider. And then I'm going to ask you if there's anything that you want to say in response to that. So the various factors, and I'll run through them. You don't have to, I'll tell you where I'm going all the way to the end so that you can understand the question. I don't want to be unfair on you. The first is that we know that SAPS cancelled the contract on grounds of fraud and corruption. The second is that you knew that Mr. Matlala had access to people inside SAPS who would furnish him with payment screens and other internal SAPS documents. The third is that you knew that Mr. Matlala wanted your assistance inter alia because he thought you had access to people inside SAPS and the minister who could influence matters relating to his contract. The next factor is that you knew Mr. Matlala was reported as having been involved in widespread tender fraud at Tembisa Hospital. You also knew that he was alleged to have been involved in the murder of Babita Diakaran, who was trying to expose that fraud. Now, if the contract was in fact procured by fraud and corruption, then the proceeds of that SAPS Medicare 24 contract are proceeds of crime. And that raises an issue under Section 5 of POCA, the Prevention of Organised Crime Act. What Section 5 says is that a person commits a criminal offence, a money laundering offence, if they ought reasonably to have known that certain amounts were proceeds of crime, and if they conclude a transaction which is likely to have the effect, and I'm quoting, of concealing or disguising the nature, source, location, disposition, or movement of those proceeds, or any interest which anyone may have in respect thereof. Now, one of the many issues which this Commission is going to have to consider at the end of the day is whether to recommend money laundering prosecutions under Section 5 of POCA against either yourself, Mr. Matlala, or Mr. Maumela, arising to the payments that were sent to Lutaga via Tamiz. And in fairness to you, I think you need to be given an opportunity to say what you have to say, to persuade the Commission why it shouldn't make that recommendation, why it shouldn't regard the channeling of Medicare 24 payments and proceeds to Lutaga via Tamiz as a contravention of the money laundering offense in Section 5 of POCA. So is there anything you would want to say in that regard?
Counsel, I had not done this with any intention of committing any fraud. I just got caught in a web of people. I was just doing my business as a businessman. I looked at opportunities. I saw these opportunities. I took them. Yes, obviously I made a bad choice after, but I'm saying at no point did I ever want to be part or promote any of these that you are raising. And for me, these were business transactions. I went into business. I thought I was doing it with honorable people. And yes, maybe it was not the case, but at no point did I ever want to be part of any wrong that was happening. As far as the SEPS contract is concerned, when he brought me these letters, I never knew that there was underhand stuff done there. So once you have an appointment letter, all processes were followed. For me, it was a business transaction. I looked at the opportunity. I saw the opportunity. As a businessman, I took the opportunity. Yes, I should have picked up my guard when my people were being removed and not removed. But at that point, I was already into the contract. I needed to salvage something. I needed to grab onto something, my money. For me, I just wanted to get my money. And at some point, I even said to Mr. Matlala, if I could just get my capital back and you continue with this, because this is not going to work for me. We're struggling to get payments. You keep on complaining. You keep on having issues. I can't do this. And obviously, with the Brown Mokgotsi issue, it just became too much. But yes, that's what I have to say.
Can I ask another question?